super excited to be presenting to you all about DevBox. And before we dive deep, we'll do a quick round of introduction. So, my name is Veda. I'm a PM on the DevBox team. Over the past 3 years, I've spent a lot of time working with dev teams and talking to them about their daily challenges. And today, we're going to talk about how we are not just asking you to move your desktop to the cloud. We're going to be showing you a complete reimagining of what a development environment can be. I'm joined remotely by two of our brilliant engineers on our engineering team. Kenan, who built our conversational infrastructure feature that you will see shortly, and Yao, who built the VS Code integration that you'll experience today. So together, we have built something that's fundamentally changing how developers work. So let me hand it over to them for a quick round of introductions, and then we'll dive deep.
Awesome. Thank you, Veda. So hey, everyone. I'm Keenan from the DevBox service team. I'm a senior software engineer currently working on the DevBox MCP project. Over the years working at Microsoft, I've been focusing on developer services to improve our day-to-day working experience. I'm super excited about all the incredible innovations in the space around AI recently, and I genuinely believe that with the help of AI agents, MCP, LLMs, developers' life will be much easier than ever before.
And Yao.
And good morning, everyone. I'm Yao, a software engineer on the Microsoft DevBox team, and I love building tools that help developers around the world to make their life easier. So today, I'm excited to share some of those ideas with you and how AI is becoming a part of how we build. I know like 8 a.m. might be a little bit early for a tech session, at least for me. So thank you for showing up early.
Thank you, Yao. Thank you, Kenan. And before we get started, quick housekeeping. If you can download the Convergys 360 events in your phone and share feedback with us at the end of the session, that would be great. Thank you. So before we start diving in, let's acknowledge something that, development in 2025 looks nothing like how it did 5 years ago. We are building AI-powered applications, managing massive data sets, and yet many of us are still fighting our dev environments more than actually developing. So before I get started, I want to see a quick show of hands with if any of you can relate to any of these biggest dev environment frustration. Raise your hand if you. Oh, okay. I see. I didn't even have to ask the question. So it's almost everyone in the room has faced at least one of these challenges. So this is exactly the pain points DevBox is designed to solve. And based on what I'm seeing, I think we're addressing the right problems. And so this is how software development looked 30 years ago, right? And this is modern development. You see hundreds of evolving tools and platforms that developers need access to right now. And we're not talking about choosing just a few programming languages. We're talking about ecosystems, AI model hubs, cloud-native databases, and serverless platforms. And all are evolving on a weekly basis. In the AI era, the pace isn't just fast, it's exponential. Traditional dev environments can't just keep up. So modern developers need environments that can keep up with the relentless pace of innovation. That means you need pre-configured tools and SDKs, and you're productive immediately. Access to cutting-edge AI models that are updated weekly, and flexibility to experiment without breaking production workflows. So, and here's the reality. Traditional dev environments were never designed to tackle these challenges, and local environments can't scale or handle AI workloads. We need to rethink how dev environments work from the ground up. So, which is exactly what DevBox does. So, how did we solve this? Meet Microsoft DevBox. But this isn't just another cloud service. We built this around three of our core principles that address exactly what a modern developer needs. First, we are built to the tailor to the developer experience. Whether you like VS Code or Visual Studio, whether you need GPU compute or you just need fast builds, DevBox adapts to how you actually work and not how IT thinks you should work. Secondly, it's a platform for teams. So it's not just for individual developer productivity, but it's consistent across the teams, environments, and enterprises. And third, we are built for enterprise trust because none of this matters because if it doesn't meet your security, compliance, and governance standards. So let's take a quick look at what this experience actually feels like. Awesome. And that's DevBox delivering on its promise fast, intelligent, secure development environments. And what you witnessed right now isn't just a demo, it's a reality for thousands of developers today. So let's start with our first core principle tailored to the developer experience. So we start with how developers actually work, and DevBox adapts to your workflow and not the other way around. So whether you're a VS Code developer or a Visual Studio developer, we have optimized every single aspect of your experience for DevBox, from AI-powered infrastructure management to performance optimizations. This is development reimagined for the modern era. Now, before we dive deep into these individual features, let's talk about how you actually connect to and experience this reimagined workstation. As you can see, Microsoft DevBox offers flexible access to cloud-powered dev environments. Developers can connect using the tools that they already know and love. You can use Windows app, VS Code, or even Copilot chat for both VS and VS Code. The Windows app delivers a full desktop experience optimized for remote desktop and a smooth typing and scrolling experience in both VS and VS Code. For developers, they can also choose DevBox and launch directly from VS Code and leverage our existing extension and workflows across both Windows and WSL. And now you can chat directly with your DevBox. You want to create or restore a snapshot? Just ask Copilot and it's ready to help. There is no context switching required. So now for those choosing the RDP path, we just didn't give you just a remote desktop connection. We just made it significantly better. So let me show you an example of how these optimizations were built. So let's see the optimization in action. So we've partnered with the Visual Studio editor and the VS Code team to solve a critical problem, which is typing and scrolling lag from multiple screen updates. So originally, typing one character in C# used to trigger like 3 separate screen refreshes. But now we're starting to do a smart rendering optimization. So instead of refreshing the entire region, we just refresh only the area where the update and changes have occurred. So this eliminates multiple refreshes and delivers a 10 to 60 millisecond latency reduction. which transformed from a frustrating lag into a responsive natural typing. And this is the visual proof. So we have a before and after GIF where you can see before there is multiple updates per keystroke causing a lag. And after we optimized structured guidelines and outlining, tracking and squiggles, we have one smart update delivering a 60 to 10 to 60 millisecond faster response depending on the network conditions you're in. So we just saw how Visual Studio performance is optimized for RDP, but not every developer wants to work on an RDP environment. Many developers live in VS Code and want to keep their local dev environment experience while getting the power of cloud compute. So we built something specially for them. So this is where it gets really exciting. So introducing our Open Dev Box from VS Code feature. So now you don't need RDP anymore. So there is no context switching. You can keep your local VS Code setup, all your extensions, all your themes and workflow, while your code runs on enterprise cloud infrastructure. We have one extension that gives you secure tunnel access to multiple cloud environments, and you can access your Ubuntu WSL instances or your Windows DevBox instances all with one click. It's perfect for distributed systems and distributed teams which have high latency networks. And the best part is it has all the full management capabilities built right into it. So you have snapshots and restore and also a Copilot connectivity assist. And you might be wondering, how secure is this? This experience is fully admin controlled by default. Your existing conditional access policies will automatically apply. We are not only extending your security perimeter. Let's take a look at this experience on the dev portal. So for that, I'll pass on to Yao. Yao?
Thank you, Vida. Here's how simple we've made it in the developer portal, where developers can manage their dev boxes. So notice the multiple connection options, the traditional RDP or the new Connect with VS Code direct integration. We've built in smart feature discovery, that blue notifications that tells developers about the new connection methods available for their DevBox. And one-click setup installs the VS Code extension automatically with guided first-time experience for new users. And after that initial setup is completely seamless. Multiple DevBoxes is multiple connection methods. Developers can choose what works best for each of their projects. And also notice the Connect with VS Code for web option. That's the browser-based VS Code for quick edits when you don't have the desktop app. And let's watch a quick demo of Open DevBox from the VS Code. Right now, I'm connected to a DevBox I just created, named VS Live. This gives me a full desktop experience, just like working on a physical machine. But we understand that for many developers, a desktop UI isn't always necessary. What they really need is just a lightweight connection through the VS Code. For example, I have installed WSL on this DevBox, so I can use it for the Linux work. So in this demo, I will show you how to connect to the DevBox using VS Code for the web. Now I'm in the Dev portal, where developers can manage their DevBoxes. As you can see, here's a list of DevBoxes I have, and the one named VS Live is here. From this dropdown, you can choose how you want to connect, either via the remote desktop or the headless connection. By headless, we mean opening it in the VS Code. So here we choose Connect with VS Code for web. It is establishing the connection. And after a short while, a new VS Code session will pop up in the browser. And here it is. I'm connected to VS Live. You can open folder, you can access the terminal, you can use the WSL, or install the VS Code extension or the MCP servers, and even use the GitHub Copilot. We will explore this experience in more details in a later demo. With just a single click, I get a fully functional DevBox running my browser, with no need to install anything locally. But you might also notice that there's another option, connect with VS Code locally. Let's try this. Here's the introduction dialog. You can install the DevBox extension in your VS Code locally. Let's continue. So a local VS Code window just opens, and it is loading the DevBox extensions. After a short while, all your DevBox will be listed here, just like in the Dev portal. It also gives you the option to connect it directly from within the extension. So next time, you won't have to go to the Dev portal. Everything you need is in the extension. Let's wait for a while until the connection is established. And here we are. I'm now connected to VS Live in my local VS Code, and it is ready to code.
Awesome. Thanks, Yao. And that's how we've eliminated the friction between a local development and cloud power. So the VS Code connection is just the beginning. What if you could manage your entire dev infrastructure through conversation instead of clicking through portals? Meet the new DevBox MCP server. It's a fundamental shift in how dev infrastructure interaction. MCP protocol turns your infrastructure into something you can talk to, manage everything through natural language. Say, set up a React Native mobile app environment, and it provisions tools, configures access, and suggests optimal resources. Ask it, why can't I connect to my DevBox? And you'll get intelligent diagnostics and fixes. This isn't just theoretical. We created this to solve real developer pain points. It's available in preview today, and Kinan, you can show us the conversational infrastructure in action right now. Over to you.
All right, so thank you, Veda. Hey, everyone. Today, I'm super thrilled to walk you through some of the incredible features that DevBox MSP provides. I've even got some very, very cool demos to show you how it works in action. But before we dive in, I have a quick question for you all. So how many of you have heard of or ever used an MSP server? Please raise your hand. Well, I can't see your hands, but Veda, please tell me.
You have around few people should raise their hands.
Cool, very cool. Anyways, but if you are brand new to this, just don't worry. I'll just take about 3 minutes to give you a quick overview of what MCP is all about. So MCP is short for Model Context Protocol. As the name suggests, it's a protocol designed to provide context to models. It defines a standard way to connect large language models or LLMs to data, tools, and other resources. You can just think of it as a universal adapter for AI applications, the same way USB works for all your external accessories or peripherals. Thanks to USB, you don't have to install a new driver for every single keyboard, mouse, or phone you plug in. And MCP works in a similar way. It enables us to connect our AI agents and applications to different tools without having to build custom one-off connections over and over again. So in MCP, there are 3 main participants. MCP host is your AI agent or application, just like VS Code or Visual Studio. They're also responsible for managing MCP clients. And speaking of MCP clients, this is the bridge. This is the component that maintains the conversation with the MCP servers, going back and forth, bringing context from the servers back to the hosts. And MCP servers. So this is the most important part. MCP servers are local applications or remote services that actually provide context to AI agents. So the star of the show today, DevBox MCP is one of those servers. So, but other than that, MCP also has tools, resources, and prompts, which are often referred to as primitives. And they're super powerful and can do lots of things, like calling an external API or opening browsers. And you will see that in a minute in our demos. And finally, MCP has two types of underlying transports. We have local MCP servers backed by etcd.io, and we also have remote MCP servers based on streamable HTTP. So we actually have both local and remote DevBox MCP servers, and you will also see that in our demos. So all right, so that's the high-level overview of MCP, and now let's move on to the star of the show, DevBox MCP. So 3 key points before we get to the demos. Number 1, DevBox MCP allows you to manage your DevBoxes, troubleshoot issues, and search documentation all through natural languages, obviously. This is number 1. Number 2, the DevBox MCP server is designed to integrate with any hosts or clients that support MCP, such as VS Code, Visual Studio, or other agentic systems. This is all thanks to the open nature of Model Context Protocol. So this is number 2. Number 3, as mentioned earlier, we have both local and remote DevBox MCP servers, and they're absolutely enterprise ready, safe, and secure. You can absolutely use DevBox MCP server with confidence. Okay, so all right, so enough talking. Let's get to the demos, Veda.
All right, thank you, Kenan. I'm going to play your first demo.
Hey everyone, this is a quick demo of the amazing DevBox MCP server that we've recently built. In this demo, I'll show you how to install it to Visual Studio Code, what tools are available, and how to use them. First, let's start with installation. We have both local and remote DevBox MCP servers. To install the local one, check out the MCP server via aka.ms/devbox/MCP. And you will see the official npm package. You can also search it online or search it within the npmjs.org website. From the page, click Install DevBox MCP Server, one-click installation link. DevBox MCP will be installed to your VS Code automatically. Now, to install the remote MCP, you can easily add an MCP server in Visual Studio Code. Choose HTTP transport and enter the URL devbox.microsoft.com/MCP. And then you can give it a name. Authenticate with your Azure account. Then you're all set. All right, so now we have the DevBox MCP server installed, and we're gonna see how to use it. First, let's open agent mode in Visual Studio Code, and we can see all the DevBox MCP server tools are available. Now, let's try some prompts. First, can you show all my DevBoxes? And click enter. We can see that the DevBox MCP server first thought about the question a little bit with the DevBox Think tool. Then it's called the DevBox Resource tool to find out all my DevBoxes. Now it's returned, and here are all my DevBoxes. We can see their names, projects, regions, and even status. Some are running, some are hibernated, some are stopped, and some are even being deleted. Now let's try something else. Can you stop one of my DevBoxes named KESUBoxJP? And this time we can see that the agent called the DevBox MCP changed DevBox power state tool. And seems the operation has been successfully initiated, and the agent asks if I want to check the status of the operation. And yes, please check the status. With that, the MCP get operation status tool is called by the agent. And it says the operation is still running. You know what? We can even ask the agent to keep track of the status of the operation until it finishes. Keep monitoring until it finishes. And this time, the agent keeps polling the status again and again. Still running. So I know it's gonna take for a while, so let's just stop it here and move on to other demos. Now, let's try to connect to my dev box. Can you connect to my test? This time, the DevBox MCP get remote connection tool is called. And then the agent wants to run a command to connect to my DevBox. Sure, go ahead. We can see the browser is opened. And connect. Now I'm in my DevBox. At last, let's try something really fun. Imagine that I want to create a new DevBox for developing AI agent-related projects. It's really a hot topic, right? Let's see what the MCP server can do. Again, it thought about the issue for a little bit, and then it's called the list all project tool to find out all the projects that I have access to. And then it seems it's found a project named AI Agent Project designed for developing AI agents. Then it goes on finding out all the pools under it. Okay, so now the agent has got everything. It wants to create a new DevBox under the target project and pool and asks me to confirm. Sure thing, why not? I confirm. Please create the DevBox. And now the DevBox resource tool is being called again. And the new DevBox for developing AI agent project is being created with success. All right, so that's it for the DevBox MCP server demo with VS Code. Appreciate your time. Thanks for watching.
Awesome. So if you just saw how infrastructure just became conversational. What used to be multiple clicks throughout configuration screens now happens through natural language. This is the future of dev environment management. So next is our demo with DevBox MCP with Visual Studio. It's the same conversational power, but different IDE. So again, whether you're a VS Code developer or a Visual Studio developer, we adapt to your workflow and not the other way around.
Hey everyone, in our last demo, I showed you how to install DevBox MCP server in VS Code. And in this demo, I'll walk you through how to install and use DevBox MCP server in Visual Studio. But before we dive into the demo, there are 3 key points that I like to highlight. Number 1, MCP is still a preview feature for Visual Studio. You need to make sure that Visual Studio version is 17.14 or later. And number 2, you have options for where you configure MCP servers. You can set it up at the user profile level or add it to a single solution. It's even compatible with your existing VS Code or Cursor MCP configurations. This is number 2. And number 3, regarding DevBox MCP, as of the recording, only the local MCP server is supported in Visual Studio. The remote DevBox MCP server will be supported very soon. So now let's jump right into the demo. As you can see, I have Visual Studio 17.14.10 installed. I've also configured MCP at the solution level and added the local DevBox MCP here. Once we start the DevBox MCP server, you will see that all the tools are listed right here. Now let's open GitHub Copilot chat. Make sure that agent mode is turned on and selected. It's also crucial to confirm that the DevBox MCP server tools are checked in the tool list. Please also note that I've already allowed most of the tools under DevBox MCP, so the GitHub Copilot agent will need to confirm with me before running them. Now let's try some simple prompts to see it in action. I'll start by asking, can you show all my dev boxes? And hit enter. As we can see, it first thought about the issue by calling the DevBox Think tool. And then the MCP list all projects tool is called to find out all the projects that I have access to. Then it called the DevBox resource tool to find out all my DevBoxes. It's returned. As you can see, I have 12 DevBoxes in total. We can see their projects, regions, their power states. Remember the DevBox named DevBox AI Agent Dev? Exactly, that's what we created in our previous demo, and now it is up and running. Now let's try something more specific. Can you restart one of my DevBoxes? We can see that this time it thought about the issue once again, and the change DevBox power state tool is called. And the DevBox restart operation is successfully initiated. So what's interesting this time is I didn't even ask it to track the status. The agent just automatically figured out that the restart is a long-running operation, and it tried to use a combination of get operation status and DevBox resource tools to monitor the status. And it definitely shows the agent's capability to anticipate what's needed and takes the right steps thanks to the DevBox MCP server. All right, so that's it for the quick demo of DevBox MCP working under Visual Studio. Thanks for watching.
That was awesome. Thank you, Kenan. With that, we'll switch up gears a little bit and show you something cool. So here, this is our integration with our agentic system. So this is our DevBox MCP server integrated with an internal ES chat. Think of it as having a conversational AI assistant that can actually manage your dev infrastructure. So let's see this in action.
Hey everyone, in our last two demos, we saw how to install and use DevBox MCP directly within VS Code and Visual Studio. While DevBox MCP works great for you to manually use in editors and Copilot, it can also be integrated programmatically into AI agentic systems. For this quick demo, we're going to take a look at one of the latest internal Microsoft agentic systems called ESChat. Our team has been working closely with the ESChat team to add remote DevBox MCP server to their backend agentic services. Now, let's see it in action as a Teams app. First, let's confirm the integration is actually working. I'll ask a simple, familiar prompt. Can you show all my DevBoxes? As you can see, the ESChat is analyzing my question. And then our DevBox MCP tool, DevBox resource, was successfully invoked. Working on it. All right, it's returned with a list of all my DevBoxes. Very cool. I can see their projects, regions, power states, and more. It shows that ESChat works well with our DevBox MCP server. Now let's try a more complex real-world scenario. Imagine an internal Microsoft employee can't connect to their DevBoxes. We can use the agent to help troubleshoot. I can't connect to one of my DevBoxes. Can you help me troubleshoot and see if there are any docs available? The agent now uses the DevBox search doc tool to diagnose the problem and then search for relevant documentation to provide a solution. It's returned. It actually gave me many solutions, including running troubleshoot and repair, reviewing known issues, and of course, how to reach out to Azure support. It even provides me with links to the docs. That is extremely helpful. Finally, let's try a quick technical question to see the breadth of its knowledge. Sometimes people prefer TCP over UDP on their remote desktop connections during poor network conditions. So let me ask a question. Can I force a TCP connection on my dev boxes? So once again, ES Chat called the DevBox MCP search doc tool, working on it. Great. It's returned and told me how to pin my network to TCP with registry keys. Again, with all the links to the documentations. It works truly amazing. But that's it for the demo. Thanks for watching.
Thank you, Kenan. What y'all saw here isn't just a chatbot giving you instructions. It's intelligent system talking and taking actions on your behalf and diagnosing your issues. So let's see another powerful use case for our MCP server and how we're using it to troubleshoot connectivity issues. And we all know how frustrating it can be when developers can't connect to their dev box and you're trying to diagnose it. So instead of manually checking logs or network settings, let's see how AI can help streamline this process. Yao, passing it over to you so you can show us how the MCP can intelligently troubleshoot and resolve connectivity problems.
Let's dive deeper into the features provided by the DevBox extension that help ensure reliable connectivity. In the previous demo, we have showed the Connect button. It offers a seamless experience for connecting to your DevBox inside the local VS Code, even if your DevBox is in a hibernated state. Next, we have the snapshot and restore actions. So before performing any potentially destructive changes or anything you think that might affect the network connectivity inside your DevBox, you can take a snapshot. This will allow you to easily roll back to your previous state if needed. You can also view the detailed information about your DevBox using this button. And finally, the last button offers a way to troubleshoot connectivity issues using AI. Let's give it a try. So it asks me which option best matches my situation, similar to a phone menu with numbered selections. And let's say option 3. And it tells me the best practice is to enforce TCP over UDP. And here's the detailed guidance in this link. We're still actively improving this experience and trying to make it as smooth and intuitive as possible for you.
Thanks, Yao. So you saw it's minutes and not hours. So that's how intelligent troubleshooting delivers. Your infrastructure now explains itself and you can fix its own problem. IT tickets just became optional. So I'm going to pass it on to Kenan to talk about what's up next for MCP.
All right, so and now the grand finale of our DevBox MCP section. I'm incredibly excited to share our vision for the future. What's next for this amazing platform? So number one, for remote MCP, so we're launching a global deployment of the remote DevBox MCP server as part of the public preview scope. So this is massive, as it makes it much simpler and also more secure to install and upgrade your DevBox MCP server with zero local dependencies. So you definitely want to try it out. So this is number one. Number two, we'll keep iterating on existing features, and the goal is to bring you a real seamless user experience with smarter tools and prompts that understand you. So this is number two, advanced AI capabilities. And number three, while DevBox MCP has already worked with a whole lot of MCP clients and hosts, we'll keep customizing the user experience in AI agentic systems, just like in ES Chat. And the goal is to unlock new workflows and new possibilities for your day-to-day user experience. But we're not stopping here. We're committed to making DevBox MCP a powerful solution to meet enterprise needs. So number one, security, security, security. Enterprise level security is always our top priority. So we'll be implementing advanced compliance and audit capabilities to give you total confidence and trust in our platform. So this is number one. Number two, you've seen many MCP servers, but they're not always focusing on enterprise users. So we're bringing a collection of enterprise level developer tools to supercharge your team's productivity. So stay tuned. Number three, down the road, you'll also be able to get powerful insights into your team's development patterns so you can optimize your workflows and maximize productivity across your entire organization. So, and all right, so that's today's updates for DevBox MCP. So be sure to try it out after the session. And with that, I'll hand off. Veda.
Thank you, Kenan. This is awesome work. So now let's talk about something every developer needs but rarely gets: the freedom to experiment without fear. How many times you wanted to try something risky but worried about breaking your entire setup? So we are introducing our new snapshot and restore feature. Here you get one-click snapshots that eliminates that fear. So you can capture your entire workstation state and experiment fearlessly, and you can restore instantly. You can try those risky updates and test experimental frameworks that you always wanted to try. And if things go wrong, you can always come back to its state, knowing that you have a backup ready to go. So break things without consequences. That's your new superpower. So I'm going to hand over to Yao to quickly show you how this is in action.
Let's take a closer look at how snapshot and restore works. Dead boxes are captured as snapshot every 12 hours, and snapshot can be retained for at most 1 month. When you go to restore, you can see a list of snapshots, and you can select the healthy points you know and restore your dead box to that state. But what if users want more control over the situation? That's where the manual snapshot comes in. You can take a snapshot of your dead box at any time, and shortly after, you will be notified once it is successfully created. Same for the restoration. Now, let me take a snapshot of VS5. Yes. Okay, it is taking the snapshot. And in the meantime, let's restore this dead box to a previous state. I will choose the latest one. Yeah, so here's the notification. Restoring this dead box will permanently delete all data saved to your dead box between the specified time and now, and it will remove any apps. So, confirm. Okay, it is restoring. Let's wait a moment for them to complete. As you can see, the snapshot and restoration have now completed. The restoration took about 10 to 15 minutes, while the snapshot was completed much faster. I also received an email notification confirming that the restoration has finished. So you're free to do other things while the process runs in the background. Now if I want to restore VS5 again, there's one more option available, the manual snapshot I just created. I did all these operations in the deadbox extension in the VS Code, and you can also take snapshots and restore your deadbox directly from the dev portal. So, snapshots and restoration serve as the last resort to recover your deadbox, while other troubleshooting methods don't work.
Awesome. Thank you, Yao. Innovation without consequence. That's the power of snapshots. You can experiment boldly, break things freely, and restore instantly. So everything we have shown you so far builds towards this moment. an AI-ready cloud development environment. We're not just moving development to the cloud, we are creating a new development platform designed specifically for the AI era, where GPU compute and cutting edge models are accessible as basic tools. Let me show you what AI ready actually means in practice, starting with GPU access. Serverless GPU support. So, what you're seeing here transforms AI development. Serverless GPU on demand with zero setup complexity. The DevBox GPU shell option makes GPU access as natural as any terminal. And Azure Container Apps Foundation ensures enterprise security and compliance. This is perfect for AI model training, machine learning experimentation, and much more. But we're not stopping there. Coming soon, you'll be also able to persist storage between GPU sessions with DevBox workspaces. So you can resume exactly where you left off every time. GPU compute is not just a foundation, the real magic is in the AI service integration. So let's take a look at what that is. So here's the game changer. We have zero config access to Azure AI Foundry, which is Microsoft's comprehensive AI development platform with access to the latest models and dev tools directly from your DevBox. You don't need API keys to manage, no auth setup, and no context switching. Your DevBox has secure, direct access to the latest LLMs, GPT models, and open source alternatives. The barrier between having an AI idea and testing just disappeared. So now let's take a look at see how these both look in practice. We spin up a GPU environment and run some AI training and access the AI Azure Foundry models directly from our DevBox and show you how seamless this AI development workflow really is.
I'm connected to my DevBox right now, and I want to do some AI work. My DevBox does not have a GPU equipped, but luckily, my project is configured with the serverless GPU. So I can use the DevBox CLI to spin up an on-demand GPU Linux container, and when it's done, the container will just spin down automatically for the cost saving. Let's start the GPU shell. Good, I'm now within the container. So let's type Gideon SMI. As you can see, I have a powerful GPU at my disposal. All right, let's give something a try here. Let's first try some text sentiment analysis in Python. And let's do our import. And let's set our sentiment analysis classifier. Okay, let's run the text classification. So this is the first sentence, and let's try another one. As you can see, both sentences are classified with pretty positive sentiment. That's cool. But maybe I want to work on a development environment that I'm more familiar with for my daily work. Now let me switch to the VS Code in my local machine. If you navigate to the Remote Explorer, and you will find a GPU session running. And let me connect it in the current window. Good, it's now connected. Let's go ahead and open the folder. Let's go to app. And let's go to demo. Okay, I have a Python file here and it is for object detection. We're going to download this picture, and we will set up the pipeline, and then we will detect some objects and print our results. Let's run it. We're downloading our model, and here's the result. We see some remotes and a couch and 2 cats. Pretty interesting. Let's go to the labeled image here. Yeah, as we can see, we have drawn some boxes. We've got a couch, we've got 2 cats, and we've got 2 remotes. That's how we connect to the GPU container in your local VS Code. We will also integrate this functionality into the DevBox extension. I'm connected to my DevBox right now, and I want to do some AI work. My DevBox does not have a GPU equipped, but luckily, my project is configured with the serverless.
Okay, now let's see the AI Foundry demo.
When you're building applications with the large language model, there's usually a bit of setup involved. You have to choose the right service, deploy the model, manage other infrastructure, handle API keys, and etc. But with DevBox integration with Azure AI Foundry, all of that becomes much simpler. You get access to all the models directly from within your DevBox. No extra setup. Right now, I'm connected to my DevBox using the local VS Code, and you can see the tunnel name, MDB, which is short for Microsoft DevBox, VS Live, which is my DevBox name. And I have already opened this .NET project. As I mentioned earlier, you can install extensions right from the marketplace. So in my case, I have the C# dev kit installed. Okay, let's take a quick overview of this project. It is using the Azure OpenAI client library to perform a simple chat with the LLM. It also supports features like function call and token estimation, but that's not our focus today. Our focus is on the first step, to deploy a model. So let's open the terminal. Since I'm in the DevBox, I can just use the DevBox CLI to easily interact with the Azure AI Foundry. Let's check the current status by running DevBox AI status. As you can see, the Azure AI Foundry service is already enabled for this project, and here's the endpoint. Now let's list some models. DevBox list models. Wow, there are tons of models here. But for this demo, we will just choose the GPT 4.1 Nano. Okay, let's actually deploy it. DevBox AI deploy model name GPT 4.1 Nano. Now you see the endpoint and the deployment name. So in this project, the endpoint and deployment info are read from this app settings file. We are using the Enter ID authentication instead of the API key, because that could probably give us much more security and enterprise compliance. So here's the example setting, app settings JSON. And all we need to do is create our own version by following this pattern and inserting the actual values. But I'm kind of lazy, and here's the copilot. So I'll just do the vibe coding. Instead of just copying and pasting, I'm just going to ask the AI to do it for me, although it could probably take more time. Okay, let me select this. And let's type it. follow the patterns. For the example app settings, create a new one using the actual endpoint and deployment name. You can find them in the terminal. And we can add some context. Tools, choose the terminal selection. Let's go. Okay, it's generating a new file. Okay, I'll keep it. And let's run the project. Okay, it's building. Yeah, here we are. Hello, I'm Azure Function Boss. How can I help you today? So I will ask a question. So I will say, explain Microsoft DevBox Icon 5. So here's the token estimation, and this is the answer. It's actually pretty good. So, like, I'm 5 years old, and I get DevBox now. It works. So, with this setup, you can build AI applications without any of the usual friction. So everything is pre-configured and available right inside your DevBox. No redundant steps, no extra hassle.
Awesome. Thank you, Yao. I'll use that explanation when I talk to any children asking me, well, where do I work and what do I work on? So now let's switch gears and start with our second core principle, which is platform for teams. We have shown you how seamless our developer experience is, connecting and ready to code in minutes. But behind that simplicity is intelligent platform design. DevBox isn't just individual workstations, it's a platform for teams that lets organizations pre-configure environments for specific projects and requirements. So let me show you a real challenge this solves and how DevBox transforms teams' productivity. So this visual tells you a story. Scaling development teams is messy. New developers take days to get productive. Environment updates breaks workflows, and every project needs different tools. IT either bloats environments with everything installed, or teams struggle with outdated setup docs. DevBox changes everything completely. You have project-ready specific environments that scale from one developer to entire organization. There is no more complex onboarding and no more environment conflicts, just instant productivity. So I'll show you an example of how dev teams that have pre-configured their dev boxes for their teams and how this works in their setup.
I'm a dev manager on the eShop application team, and like all dev managers, I want my developers to hit the ground running with a dev environment that just works. Thanks to DevBox customizations, I can do exactly that by creating a config as code file called imagedefinition.yaml. It lives in our source control and tells DevBox exactly how to configure machines for our team. Now, writing YAML by hand is so 2024. I want something smarter, faster, and less prone to tab versus space drama. So let's check out the new AI-assisted agentic workflow using the DevBox VS Code extension and MCP server. I open the eShop repo in VS Code, launch agent mode, and simply ask, help me configure a DevBox for this repo. From there, Copilot scans the code, understands the app stack, web, APIs, Blazor, all that jazz, and figures out the tools and packages I'll need. It checks against my org's allowed package list, confirms what's needed, and bam, generates a complete image definition.yaml using the built-in win-get, PowerShell, and git clone tasks. It even pre-configures a git clone of the eShop repo, so when devs get their dev box, they're not staring at an empty desktop wondering what to do next. Want to tweak things? Easy. I tell Copilot, add SQL Server, configure RabbitMQ, and use Node.js 18LTS. Copilot updates the YAML in real time. No manual edits, no fuss. Node version gets updated, and both SQL Server and RabbitMQ gets configured. Once I'm satisfied with the overall configuration, I can validate and apply these settings directly to my own dev box using tools built into the DevBox extension. Confirm the UAC prompt, and all my tools and packages get installed, just like that. Bonus! Thanks to the DevBox MCP server, I can even tweak Windows settings. I just say, switch to dark mode, and Copilot takes care of it and switches the theme to dark mode. No more endless control panel clicking. With just a short conversation, I now have a ready-to-code DevBox configuration. I check the YAML into a repo, link it to my project, and from then on, every developer gets a pre-configured cloud DevBox, tailored for the eShop repo. It just works.
Awesome. So we just saw how DevBox empowers developers with conversational infrastructure and agentic workflows, getting from zero to productive instantly. This saves a lot of time and helps teams ship faster. But DevBox is also a platform for enterprises. Organizations like Contoso can organize their teams into dev centers, eShop team, project or Orchard team project, etc. And each project-specific configuration can build on their IT-approved-based templates. This gives enterprises governance and best practices, while dev teams self-serve customization. The result? Teams can focus on what they love most, writing code and shipping innovations faster. So this isn't just theoretical. Team customizations and imaging is how DevBox scaled at Microsoft. So we have over 45,000 developers using DevBox across the company, with 65% of them making it their primary development machine. That's real adoption at scale. Over our dev centers, we have over 200 projects and 400 custom images, and we support everything from Windows development to AI research. It works at Microsoft scale, and it's ready for yours now. So let's do a quick recap. Team customization and imaging allows you to customize your DevBox as config as code and optimize them into images with a single click. This is generally available to all customers as of now. The DevBox authoring agent that you saw, which is used to customize your environments through GitHub Copilot, is in preview. You can describe to it what you need, and Copilot will build it for you. So we're switching gears to our last enterprise pillar, which is built for enterprise trust. So every tech organization faces the same tension. Developers need speed and flexibility, and IT needs security and control. Usually someone loses. Developers get blocked or IT loses governance. DevBox changes this equation. You get developer productivity and enterprise control. And here's how we build enterprise trust into everything. So enterprise trust isn't just an add-on feature for us, it's our foundation. It's what makes DevBox different from every other cloud solution that's out there. But don't just take our word for it. We have partnered with our global enterprises to prove DevBox works at scale. Fujitsu is one of our largest deployments, and they're rolling DevBoxes to thousands of developers worldwide. Let's hear it from them directly about their enterprise transformation journey.
お客様は交通の流れを統制するための群衆管理ソリューションのような富士通の人間中心のイノベーションを求めています。私たちの成功はそのお客様のビジョンを迅速かつ安全に実現することにかかっています。
Developers want to code, not to spend hours configuring hardware, and the physical devices they've used until now are expensive.
富士通は日々外部からの脅威の標的になっており、セキュリティ施策が必須です。ただ、セキュリティと開発生産性とのバランスを取ることが課題でした。GitHub Copilot と Microsoft DevBox は、富士通組織全体において安全に生産性向上を図る有力な施策であると考えています。
Developer can start coding immediately with a pre-configured environment, and they expedite their work with GitHub Copilot. Removing hardware from the equation also saves time for our operations team.
マイクロソフト DevOps によりこれまでにない標準化が実現しました。開発者にはファームウェアのアップデートなどセキュリティ確保に必要な作業が不要となりました。DevBox と GitHub Copilot を活用することで開発者の作業負荷は 20% 削減されました。1年で合計37万5000時間の節約が見込まれており、これは富士通にとって大きなメリットとなります。
DevBox により私たちは時間とコストの削減に加えセキュリティ強化も実現していきます。マイクロソフトとともに自社の収益にも、そして私たちのソリューションを利用するお客様にも大きな価値をもたらしていきます。
So Fujitsu's success isn't just unique. We see this pattern repeatedly. Secure onboarding, simplified management, and faster delivery. But these outcomes don't happen by accident. They are powered by our 3 enterprise pillars built into DevBox. Project isolation, where you have secure delegated control for every team and code base. Global device management, where you can manage thousands of dev environments at enterprise scale. And intelligent cost controls, where you optimize spending without slowing down innovation. Enterprise scale at developer speed, and that's the DevBox promise. So this enterprise-grade experience is available globally now. We run on battle-tested Azure and Windows 365 infrastructure, and it's proven at Microsoft scale. We have just expanded to Spain Central and UAE North, bringing us close to 23 Azure regions worldwide. High performance, low latency, and regulatory compliance, no matter where your teams are located. So your next steps are very simple. You can get started at akms.devbox to get started for your proof of concept. You can share your feedback with us. We are constantly listening and building based on your input. And if you want to hear more on Fujitsu's success story, you have the URLs to visit it. If you want any additional resources, you can look at ak.ms/devbox resources for documentation, tutorials, and best practices. And we have a couple of expert meetup session coming up soon. Feel free to drop by. And shout out to our friends at Visual Studio Code Editor. They have a session coming up where they go deep into how they optimize the VS Editor for RDP. So thank you all for joining us today. We hope you really enjoyed our session. We were super excited to show you all the things that we are building. You saw conversational infrastructure, you saw serverless GPUs and enterprise security. But more importantly, you've seen development environments finally built for 2025. AI first, globally distributed, and innovation focused. DevBox isn't just the future, it's available today. And please check it out. I'll pass on to Kenan and Yao for.
Once again, appreciate you showing up early and joining us today, and thank you for your time. Please do try out DevBox MSP if you're interested, and let us know if you have any questions. Any feedback would be very, very much appreciated. And thank you so very much.
And thanks again for spending your early morning with the DevBox with us. And we're just getting started in this space, and I'm excited to see what we can all build next. Veda?
Thank you both. And as quick housekeeping, if you can go to Visual Studio Hub for learning more, and please share feedback for our session. And we learn from your feedback, so please evaluate our session and give us feedback. Thank you all so much.